First niggas gotta find me. What's 50 grand to a motherfucker like me? Can you please remind me? Ball so hard, this shit crazy. Y'all don't know that don't shit phase. The next we go, 0 for 82 when I look at you like.
All right, everybody. What we're doing today is the first of Aaron cooking segments. Now, you had Darielle last week making her protein muffins, and this week you're going to have me making one of my concoctions. This is not something you may have seen otherwise. It's nothing that fancy like Darielle's muffins and some other things you're going to see Darielle cook. Mine's pretty basic. It's diet food, kind of, sort of not, kind of, sort of is, but it's one of what I would consider my clean meals in the off season. Usually my diet consists of cupcakes, candies, pie, maybe some Grey Goose vodka, but this is be considered a good meal, one of my better meals. And what it is consists of mainly of this. And you might be asking yourself, what is this mush, meat mush? What it actually is an Angus steak, a sirloin steak that's shaved very thinly. Now, one of the things I love about this is that it's easy to eat and it's fast to cook. So what you can do pretty much anywhere, I think that they have a steak, you have a butcher, they can shred this stuff down just like they would deli meat. They use the meat slicer with the steak, and you get this mush here, which is the steak basically mushed together. So I'm going to show you cooking this. We're going to cook this up, and then I'm going to put it with my grits. I love grits from New Orleans. If you haven't had some cheese grits, you should have some. I love them. They're good with almost everything. So I make like almost like a steak breakfast, but at night. So all right, now I'm going to measure this out. This is one of my bigger meals, so I'll do 12 ounces of the shredded steak. I also do a smaller meal, which would be an 8-ounce steak at another time. But since this is one of my bigger meals, I'm going to take as you can see, it's very thinly shredded Angus steak, and I measured out here. Got 6.3 so far. We're at 10, a little more. Okay, a little more. That's about right. It doesn't have to be exactly. Okay, now I use a little bit of oil. Now there's obviously some fat in the steak, a pretty good amount of fat in the steak, but I do use a little of Species macadamia nut oil, and I'd say I put about half an ounce or so in there, not a ton, and just so that the steak doesn't burn since I already heated the pan up and everything. Here we go. And now I actually mix this into the grits, with the grits, and you'll see the grits in just a moment. This cooks very fast, and that's one of the things that's key for me. Because if Darielle's not cooking, and she's an excellent cook, and I've got to do something like this, I don't want to take the time necessarily to make a real Darielle quality meal. So instead, I like something fast. So because this is shredded so thin, it cooks very, very fast, and that is definitely a key. For me, at least. And it's good. All right, I am now getting ready while the steak is cooking. As you can see, I am going to make the grits. Now, these aren't like old-fashioned grits or anything like that. I use the instant grits, the Quaker instant grits, and I'll do 3 packs, and that ends up being about 70 grams of protein, of carbohydrates, I mean. And I just microwave it. Pour the grits in there, and I don't use a specific amount of water. I just put enough water in there so they're the grits are floating. You know what I mean? So I don't. Each one they have like an actual like ratio you should put in there, but I just make it so it looks pretty watery. And for 3 packs, I don't like my food very hot. Some people like their stuff to be super hot, like Darielle. I like to have my food kind of warm. So I only put the grits in there for a minute, 45 seconds usually I start with. And while that's cooking, I kind of flip the meat over and I season the meat. I like all my stuff pretty salty, and the grits is already pretty salty. You can see we've been cooking this for, I mean, literally 2 minutes, 3 minutes max, and it's already almost all the way cooked. So I'll salt this stuff up. We got our little seasoning cabinet Darielle's got here, all the basic stuff here. I strongly recommend this stuff, this popcorn seasoning stuff. Very good. Discovery. You got all kinds of different flavors. You got caramel and the white cheddar, but I just use salt. I don't use like a ton. because, like I said, the grits is
right.
already salty. The steak is cooked. The grits is cooked. We mix this all, like I said, into this bowl here. Mix the steak into the bowl here. It's not the prettiest thing, I'll admit. Darielle, you got any comments? What do you think? How do you think it looks?
No comment.
No comment? She's going to taste it, folks, so she'll be our judge. Now, I know I'm going to like it, but we'll see. She's more picky than me. She doesn't like the looks of this. She's not a fan of grits.
I go a lot off the looks when it comes to food.
She goes a lot off of looks. So,
Has potential.
yeah? So,
You eat it many times, so must be somewhat decent.
we're going to see, folks, what Darielle thinks. And I'll prepare this for her.
Okay, I am about to try Aaron's wonderful bowl of beef and grits. Let's see. Can I get a good... How this beef sticks together? There we go.
Be honest. You need a bigger bite. Take the whole bite.
Oh, it was a big bite.
Okay.
It's actually pretty good.
Are you impressed?
I am, and that is not a lie. I'm not just saying it's good for the camera, because I'll eat a little bit more. It's good. I like the beef.
Don't eat too much, because I'm hungry.
Yeah, there's enough.
The beef is good, right?
It's really good.
I told you. And it's super fast. Honestly, how fast did it take me to cook this?
Probably about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 to 8 minutes.
And you know I'm not a good cook necessarily, so
No,
the fact that I'm able to cook this and it tastes good, it's pretty impressive, wouldn't you say?
Even a dummy could do it.
Oh,
I'm not saying you are, but if there was a dummy out there, he could do it.
Babe.
So,
all right.
no, it's very, very easy. I mean, literally hardly any cooking time, and I mean, you just mix two things together, so how simple is that?
All right, guys, so you see the concoction, and I call this the steak and grits. And steak and grits, this portion of steak and grits has about 75 grams of protein and about 75 grams of carbohydrates. It's got some fat in it. I think we're looking at about 800 to 1,000 calories on this bad boy. Perfect for a post-workout if you're trying to gain lean muscle in the off-season. I guess you could do this a little different and use maybe a leaner cut of beef, or obviously a smaller portion, maybe less carbohydrates. But all in all, or don't add the oil. I guess, you know, an ounce of macadamia oil adds a lot of calories to the thing. But it's really good. I'm impressed with it, as I always am, and I'm looking forward to eating it. So until next video, Darielle's got a more complicated cooking video for you. This is Darielle and Aaron signing off. We're going to eat.
Stop.